Hi, welcome to an overview of the Rite of Acceptance. Let me get off to the side here. So, I want to give you just an overview of the church building, where we'll be at. So, the sanctuary is shown here on the slide, along with the altar. That's the main part. So, the sanctuary is the elevated section with the steps up to the altar. Also, I want to highlight where the baptismal font is. We'll need to know exactly where that is. You'll see why. And also the narthex, and that's the section just outside the glass doors going into the church and just beyond the main entrance door. So that section there with a lot of chairs, and some people will be sitting in there. But to start off with, I'll show you where your sponsors are going to be seated to the far right of the sanctuary, as you can see here on the slide. And you will be sitting there eventually as well, but to start with, you will be in the education building. And just about 10 minutes prior to the start of the 10:30 Mass, then, we will go to the narthex and line up as shown here on the left of the main aisle in the narthex, right behind the center doors going into the nave, or the proper part of the church where the pews are. And at the right time, I will be up front, so I want to say this: at the right time, Karen is going to be back there, and she will let you know that you need to line up behind the back pews on the left, as shown here. And so that's where you will be. And at the proper time, you will see me go up to the ambo. And at that time, we will have Shauna Allen, just alphabetically. She will be the first person, and she will proceed to the front of the baptismal font. So as you can see here, she's moving to the front, and the second person behind her will be at the back of the church, that red line, and ready to move when Shauna is called forward. So I'll be at the ambo, and I'll call her name, Shauna Allen, and she will respond present loud enough for the congregation to hear her, and then she will proceed down the center aisle and begin lining up, forming a semicircle around the sanctuary. And as each person is called forward, saying present when I call their name, the next person behind them will move to the front of the baptismal font and be ready to come forward when their name is called, again after responding present. So we all lined up there facing the altar, facing the celebrant. And the celebrant is going to begin by asking you three questions that we've covered in our sessions. First one is, what do you ask of God's church? And then you're going to respond loudly, I hope. Faith, all together, all of you together. The celebrant's then going to ask the second question, what is it? What does faith offer you? And you're going to respond all together, eternal life. And again, loud enough so that the congregation can hear you even though you're facing the celebrant. And then the third question being asked by the celebrant is, are you prepared to begin this journey today under the guidance of Christ? And all of you respond with, I am. The priest will then call the sponsors forward. They will line up behind each of you. And at the proper time, the celebrant is going to ask you to turn and face your sponsor. So you will turn around and face the sponsor. And there will be a series of blessings. We'll look at that when we do the practice on the Saturday before, on November the 9th, with the service being at the 10:30 Mass on November 10th. And then the sponsors will be sent back to their seats. The catechumens, those who have not been baptized, will be receiving a crucifix from the celebrant, and they respond just so the celebrant can hear them with amen when they're handed the crucifix. And then all of you will be dismissed to the pew, and you go and sit as shown on the slide in the section where your sponsors are already seated. The Mass will then proceed as normal. We will go through the readings, and the priest will give a homily, and then I will approach the ambo again, and the celebrant is going to call the catechumens and candidates forward, and you will assemble again in the same order in a semicircle around the sanctuary. After I read the prayers of the faithful, and the response to each of those prayers is, Lord, hear our prayer, the celebrant will dismiss us, and I will proceed around the semicircle to the center aisle, and I will then lead you out of the nave, out of the church proper, into the narthex, and then we'll all go over to the education building where you will engage in breaking open the Word. So I hope that's clear enough. It'll be clearer still when we meet for the practice at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday, November 9th. I hope to see you all there.